Hello, welcome back to the channel. And you wouldn't believe it from how grey it is outside and the fact that we've had storm warnings in the UK, but we are now into August, so it's time to look back at my July solar stats, heat pump stats, and just an update on how turning my house more energy efficient is going. So before I go on, thank you to all those who've already subscribed. Thank you to those who regularly leave comments. I read them all and find them quite interesting. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button as it massively helps out the channel. So for those who are new or just need a recap, I live in Swansea. My house is on a hill with a south-facing roof where I have 12 Q-cell panels. And those panels put out a peak output of 4.65 kilowatts. That goes down into a 5 kilowatt Solis inverter. And I also currently have a 5 kilowatt hour pure drive battery. Although in about half an hour after filming this, I will be talking to somebody and buying some new batteries. I also have a Model 3 Tesla EV, which means I'm on Octopus Intelligent Go, although I only charge that a couple of times a month from home because I get free charging elsewhere, so I just charge it at home for the bare minimum to keep the Octopus Intelligent Go contract going. So in fact for this month I only charged it by 10 kilowatt hours, and therefore it cost me 70p, and none of those figures are included in what I talk about later. I also have a heat pump which was installed at the end of April, which is a Daikin 9 kilowatt unit, and this is the first month that I've actually been able to use that properly, as I've moved the CT clamp, and if you watch my previous videos you know what I'm going on about that. So these are my general figures. So let's start off with the solar generation. So the solar generation for this month has been 629 kilowatt hours, which is more than in June. And also this is our best July on record, as you can see from this graph here. So in previous Julys, we've generated 505 kilowatt hours in 2023, and in 2024 we generated 586 kilowatt hours. So we're up on that, but saying that, June, we were well down on our June figures, so it's actually evened out for the summer overall. As far as the actual generation profile for the month has gone, you can see here from our graphs that we've had days up around the 30 kilowatt hours, and we've had days when it hasn't been quite as sunny, but still good generation for all the throughout July. So that's been a positive, especially compared to how bad June was. So trying to break down these figures is always a little bit confusing, but and what I've split off from where and how I account for them. So hopefully I've got all of these right. So the house, so this is excluding the heat pump because I account for that somewhere later on in the video. So the house, so this is internet, watching TV, cooking, because I have an induction hob and a electric oven now, and just general running the house, has been quite a heavy month in terms of our electricity usage, even though we were away for a week of it, and we've used 240 kilowatt hours, of which 130 we have imported. So those are the two important figures there. Out of that 130 of import, only 0.7 of them was done at the peak time. So with Octopus Intelligent Go, I get 6 hours at 7p between 11:30 at night and 5:30 in the morning, and the rest of the time I'm paying about 27p. Okay, so trying to look at how that turns into savings. So if I was to have imported all of that 240 kilowatt hours at, say, the standard rate that I could get for electricity, which is about 25p, that would have cost me just under £60. It would have cost me £59.96. Now on to the heat pump. So My heat pump is still running quite inefficiently because all I'm using it to do is heat hot water. Because it's the summer month, our heating is off effectively. So we heat the water for a couple of hours every night to bring it up to the, I think it's 48 degrees. And once a week, an immersion heater kicks on, which then heats the water up to 60 degrees to do the cleaning cycle, which removes the Legionnaires, which I'm not entirely sure we need. So this month, because we were away for the week, I actually turned the hot water off, so we only used, or the amount of heat produced by the heat pump was only 76 kilowatt hours. Normally we use about 100. So if we were to be paying for the gas to heat that with a boiler at say 90% efficiency, at the 7p rate that we would pay for gas, that 76 kilowatt hours would have cost us £5.95. So as I say, our heat pump isn't running that efficiently. Actually, our COP for this month has only been 1.77, and that's mainly because the immersion boiler or the immersion heater only works on a 1-to-1 ratio, so it only has a COP of 1. And because we use so little hot water, or we heat in so little water, a lot of the energy initially starting the heat pump is to do with warming up the compressor. So we've got a lot of wasted energy, well, not say wasted energy, that's why our COP is quite low. As we get into the winter months and the heating kicks in and we might need more hot water because it's going to be colder outside where our hot water tank is, that COP will actually creep up. And I've also just measured what the COP is if I'm just using the heat pump, and that's well above 2, so that's about what we'd expect. So we only put 43 kilowatt hours of electricity into the heat pump, and we're doing that at the 7p rate, which means it's only cost us £3.01 for all our hot water for the month. So that means that if we didn't have any of the solar and heat pump and all that sort of stuff, our energy bill for the month, excluding standing charges, would have been about £66. In fact, our energy bill for the month, excluding standard charges, was only £9.29. So that means we've made an overall saving of £56.62 by having the heat pump and the solar panels. We've also got an additional saving we have to talk about as well, is because of the heat pump and the induction hob, we had our gas supply removed. So we're no longer paying the standing charge of 31p a day, which means we've saved another £9.75 this month. So adding together our total savings, that means our total savings for the month has been, and I've lost the number on my grid, here it goes, so it's about £65 worth of savings. So we're very happy with that. Of course, we've also been exporting because we get paid 15p per kilowatt hour from export. So it's better for us to import at night, charge up the battery and do things like the dishwashing, washing machine and all that sort of stuff overnight at the 7p, and then export electricity at 15p. So I don't do any energy trading, I don't discharge the battery and then recharge it, but I do export pretty much all of our solar. So this month we exported 525 kilowatt hours of electricity back to the grid at 15p each. So that means Octopus has paid us £78.70. So that means that our bill for Octopus for the month was about £26 when we include the standing charge, but our main energy bill, which we can't do anything about, but our main energy bill just for energy usage was only £9.29, which means that we've basically ended up with about £50 worth in credit with Octopus ready for the winter months, and that's been mounting up for all the year. So how does this saving compare to other months? So that's what this graph showed. So as you can see, this is our second best month on record, and that's obviously because energy prices have gone up, so we're making a saving on that. We're saving on not having a gas meter, and also we got quite a high seg as well. So this is our second highest month on record, and as you can see from the graph, significantly higher than June. So how does this affect our overall payback? So later on in the month, we had marked 4 years since we had our our solar panels installed. So I'll do a full video looking at the full figures from the past 3 years there. However, so our total outlay for our solar panels, which was about £8,500 3 years ago, and our heat pump, which was only £220 by the time we took into account discounts and people using my referral codes, which have been along the screen at the bottom of the video. So if you do want to switch to Octopus, or you are thinking of getting a heat pump, or you're already in the process of getting a heat pump from Octopus, there are different codes to use. So one is to use if you are thinking about getting one, use that code, and the other one, the long number one, is if you're already in the process. So that means we've spent about £8,720 on our technology so far. However, as I say, in about half an hour's time, that's going to shoot up by another £5,000. And to date, we have made savings and savings of £2,454, which means that out of that 8,700, we've got about 6,200 left to go. And that would take us at the current rate about another 4.5 to 5 years to do, or to pay off if everything stayed the same as this year. And obviously that's going to go up a bit more when we add some more money to it later, but I don't expect the payback time to increase by that, maybe up to about 8 years. So yeah, that covers pretty much all the information for my solar panels from this year, from this month. As I say, please hit the subscribe button, please hit the bell notification icon. The YouTube algorithms are really pushing shorts at the moment, so these longer form videos may not be getting pushed to you as much. So if you can hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, at least they might come up on your feed. And if you push the bell notification icon, you will get a notification whenever I release the videos. Anyway, thank you for watching. As always, please comment your own videos below, or your own stats below. I enjoy reading them, and it's interesting to see how different people from around the country, or indeed other countries, are faring with their own solar panels and heat pumps. Anyway, I'll see you in another video very soon.